Hello everybody, my name is Joshua.
And my name is Paige.
And we'd like to welcome you back to another episode of Coffee, Cats, and King, where today we will be talking about movies, both new and old. Share with you pictures of our cats. Havoc.
Hi.
And there's Chaos.
He's watching the rain.
That will make you wish they were your cats. And I'll drink enough coffee for me, her, and everybody watching.
Yes.
I am drinking coffee out of my new mug here. And I'm drinking with a straw because I have a bad ulcer in my mouth right now. And so really I shouldn't drink coffee at all, but I'm being
we know that's
stubborn about it. So I'm drinking with a straw so that I can at least try to somewhat avoid that area. That is also why if at any point I look like I am baring my teeth at you, it is just because I'm trying to take pressure off of that. I'm probably not baring my teeth at you. We are back today with another Sunday Scaries. This is one that I am nervous for.
Uh-oh.
I don't know how you're going to take it based off of previous experience. But this is a very important film, I feel like, and a pivotal one for a particular subgenre of horror.
Okay.
So, today we will be watching 1973's The Wicker Man.
Oh?
Yes. Now, this did have a remake in 2006 with Nicolas Cage.
Mm-hmm.
That was absolutely atrocious, and people make fun of it endlessly.
Okay.
But
so we're watching the original.
Yes, the original movie is considerably better.
Okay.
All I'm going to say is that this is about a police sergeant who is hunting for a missing girl, and he follows the lead to this little Scottish island village, if you will.
Oh, okay.
And that's all I'm going to give you.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it scary?
Well, that's going to depend on you. But like I said, I'm concerned about this one because I think that based off of some of the books that you've read, you're going to have preconceived notions, and I don't want that. I want you to just enjoy the movie.
Okay.
I'm not giving you much to go off of, but do you have any thoughts before we get into it?
I'm scared.
You say that before every movie.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I just don't like the unknown.
Right.
I'm someone that likes to rewatch the same things over and over because at least I know what's going to happen.
Right.
But I trust you. And at least we're watching this during the day.
Yeah. This is more lunchtime this time.
Yeah, so don't have to worry about nightmares or anything.
So we are going to go on and get into it and share our thoughts and opinions.
Opinions?
Opinions. We're going to share our thoughts and opinions afterwards. Havoc, it's time for you to introduce the film, buddy.
Take it away.
All right.
Okay, so if you're new to Josh's channel, there was a time where he made me read Harvest Home by Thomas Tryon.
Uh-huh.
Joshua will link that video because that will basically be my thoughts about this movie.
It's not the same.
It's very similar. I think if you're like a really religious person, you should not watch this movie. I think that's what makes it a true horror, is if you're a religious person.
Alright, I know you're not a fan of Harvest Home. That's why I told you.
So I guess
go
this
in with
would
preconceived
count
notions.
as folk horror, right?
Uh-huh.
So basically, on this island, the people there have their own religion that they kind of
Yes.
follow. And it's very different and very out there. It's very disturbing, the things that they do in this village. It's clearly not as simple as a regular missing persons case as you get into it.
Right. Yeah, heavy on the religious themes here, of course. Part of it, though, is the juxtaposition between the horror he feels at their practices, and basically their simple answers of, "Oh, really? Because this thing from Christianity is pretty darn similar, isn't
Yeah.
it?" This movie is very important because it is the epitome of this subgenre of horror, basically. So much in that realm followed because of Wicker Man, and even if there are instances of it before Wicker Man was just the it was like the culmination of everything that people liked in folk horror, put into one. And you can imagine going to a movie theater and seeing this. I mean, your reaction throughout was, like,
Yeah, the whole time I was like, what the hell
yeah,
am I
what am I
watching
watching?
right now?
What is this?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, the movie Midsommar is ranked up as one of the top 10 best horror movies ever. It wouldn't exist without this existing first.
Yeah, I could definitely see like the significance of it, and I think it does give a very like interesting perspective on religion or just like cultures outside of like Western culture, for example. So I think on like a humanity or like historical perspective, I could understand why it's significant.
Part of the import as well is that religious horror, of course, has been around for forever. But oftentimes it is still Christianity versus whatever evil. But again, part of the point of this movie is to continuously throw it in this police sergeant's face that, hey, your beliefs really, they might be different in practice, but they're just as twisted and bizarre as what you think ours are.
Honestly, the fact that, because I mean, there are some cultures and religions who do things in this film that they do. I think calling this movie a horror, I think, is an example of the debate of whether you should have like a separation of church and state, or like laws combined with education, or things like that, because there are still religions to this day that sacrifice people and animals, and obviously in our Western culture, so to us it would be a horror,
right,
if a religious cult brought us into their village and sacrificed us. That's what makes it a horror. But in reality, there are religions that still do things like that, so to them it's just part of life. It's not horrific to do such a thing. So I think it gives an interesting perspective on that. That's
part of the reason that the director wanted to have that playfulness of them, singing this happy song as they are burning the Wicker Man, or all of the singing portions.
It's kind of a musical in a way,
but it's catchy.
Yeah, I guess.
The music is fire.
Oh yeah, Shy's back here too.
And I'm not even that religious of a person, but I mean, obviously in America, most people are brought up with some kind of Christianity in their environment. So even if you have faith in God or whatever the case may be, the ending scene is very unnerving, because he's saying everything that's true and right, and he's praying and he's doing all these things, but none of it matters.
He's doing everything that he's taught is his protection in the world, if you will.
Yeah, but it doesn't save him. So that part would be unnerving, even if you're not a religious person per se. I could see it. This isn't exactly what I think of when I think of a horror movie.
What do you have in mind for horror then? Is it something like Child's Play?
Yeah, like the standard ones that everyone always talks about. Like,
what do you think in your mind prevents this from being labeled horror? You have human sacrifice, you have people running around on animal heads.
well, it's just it's weird. Obviously their beliefs are weird and foreign compared to our beliefs, but like I said, to them it's not horrific. So, that's just how they...
Do you think that because we are in, the 2020s, and we have become so much more accepting, our generation and the generation after us become so much more accepting and open of other people's beliefs and practices and whatnot, that takes away from the movie, whereas if someone in our parents' generation even just one step down watched it,
yeah, they would be horrified.
You think it would be more impactful because
for sure.
Of the secular difference?
Yes. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, that's fair.
Because I really wasn't like scared or horrified at all. Like I said, until that final scene.
You more had a lot of moments of
like, I was just like, really?
Yeah, what is going on?
Like, people actually do this? Yeah. Like, okay, but I don't get it.
Honestly, I think one of the biggest reactions from you was when they have the girl suck on a frog to get rid of her sore throat.
Yeah.
So what would you rate this? Just comparing to the movies that we have watched so far, I guess.
I don't know. Do you consider a 3 a bad or a good rating? Just in general. Like, if someone gives a 3 to something, would you still...
Well, so 3 for me when I read a book is it was alright, it didn't wow me. Probably not going to read it again. Or if I am, it's because there's enough schlocky fun in there for me to read it, not because it's necessarily a good book.
Okay.
So yeah.
I guess a 3 then.
Pretty
That's how
good.
I feel.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, it wasn't bad per se. It definitely hooks you in, like, you want to know how it's gonna end. I did kind of like figure out what was gonna happen. The plot twist wasn't that twisty for me personally. But I was still very invested in like what was gonna happen and like how this town got to be the way it is and what they believed. So
I was always under the impression with this movie that you as the viewer, just the sense you're getting from everything going on, it's not a twist. You know that this is not going to end well for this man right from the start. It's more about the build-up, the inevitability, and for me, it was always, like I said, it wasn't, oh, will he escape or anything like that. It was, how bad is this going to get for this man? Because it's going to get bad.
It also kind of makes me think of, those nightmares that you have where it's like you're screaming, you're like telling everyone something and no one believes you. It almost gives you that kind of feeling because I'm sure that's how he was feeling, like, especially because he's a police officer or constable, whatever. Like, he's supposed to go back and report, but he's like, how the hell am I going to prove this? Or how, like, it's one of those things like, is everyone going to think I'm crazy? Right. Everyone here thinks I'm crazy, but they're the crazy ones, not me. Right. Like, that whole...
They start out
even, so to speak, of it. So I guess that also kind of brings a horror element.
So 3 stars.
3.
Okay. Well, I'd say this is one that I was very nervous for because you disliked Harvest Home so much.
There were definitely parts where I was just like, why did he think I would watch this and not compare it to Harvest Home?
No, I knew you were going to compare it to Harvest Home. I knew you would. But like I said, it's a very important film in my opinion.
It also helped that this is obviously shorter than the amount of time it took me to read Harvest Home. So.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway. Well, so it went better than I thought, really.
You keep slowly angling the camera upwards.
I don't know what you're talking about. Now, if I go back to edit and there's a face on the ceiling, and I do
Okay,
that,
don't. Stop! Why would you say that?
Alright, so, yeah, that was better than I thought it would be. I thought that you were going to just have it in your head the whole time. This is stupid, it's Harvest Home, I don't like it. And
In the
give it a
beginning,
watch.
I definitely was. I'm not gonna lie.
I know. But I had hope that as the movie went on, it would draw you in.
Yes, it did.
And it did. So I would call this a success. Well, I think we're going to call it a wrap then. I was really nervous about this one. I think based off of the movies that we have watched so far, it is clear to me that Paige seems most receptive to just classic horror setup. I mean, you're still, by a landslide, your best reviewed movie so far has been Child's Play. So I think next week then we are going to get into another true classic of the horror genre, one that every horror fan has watched many times over. And we'll see how you do. No, not Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Okay.
I'm holding out on that one.
Then what's gonna be next?
You'll see next week, and you will see next week.
Okay.
So, let me grab my coffee here. High face on the ceiling.
Stop.
I would like to thank you all for joining us today. The boys did not really make it through the film.
They slept. They sleeping. We have Havoc. Down there. Oh! There he is.
And there's Shelly.
No!
Alright. So thank you all for joining us. I hope you stay safe, have a great week or weekend, and most importantly,
Drink great coffee. Cheers.
cheers.